Welcome to English Stories. Here, you'll improve your English by listening to real, clear stories, slowly told and easy to follow. A soft breeze moves through the trees outside a small clinic in the city. Inside, the waiting room is quiet. The clock ticks. The chairs are empty, except for one man. He wears a long gray coat, dark sunglasses, and gloves, even though it's warm today. He sits still, holding a small metal case on his lap. His name is not yet known, but in just a few minutes, his story will begin, and it will change everything. Dr. Lin liked calm mornings. He arrived at the clinic early, as always, with a warm cup of green tea in his hand. The light from the window touched his desk. He enjoyed these quiet hours, checking reports and preparing for the day. But that morning, something felt different. At exactly 8:01, the clinic bell rang. Dr. Lin looked up and saw a tall man entering. He walked slowly, almost too carefully, like someone not used to the floor. He wore gloves and sunglasses, odd for this time of year. Dr. Lin smiled politely. "Good morning," he said. "How can I help you?" The man answered softly. "I need to see a doctor. I think I have something serious." "Of course," Dr. Lin said. "Please come in." The man sat down in the exam room and placed his metal case on the floor. Dr. Lin noticed the man's voice. It had a clear tone, like someone who spoke many languages, but with no accent he could place. "Your name, please," Dr. Lin asked. The man paused. "You can call me Kalen." Dr. Lin began his usual questions. Kalen answered each one, but often in strange ways. "How old are you?" "I was born in the year 2082, Kalen said simply. Dr. Lin raised an eyebrow. "You mean you're from the future?" Kalen looked straight at him. "Yes." Dr. Lin waited for a laugh, a smile, a sign of a joke. None came. Kalen continued. "Please don't be afraid. I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm sick. I need help. In my time, there are few doctors like you." Dr. Lin was not a man who believed in science fiction, but he also knew when someone truly needed care. Kalen's hands were shaking. His skin looked pale, almost like paper. He agreed to a full checkup. As he examined Kalen, Dr. Lin noticed something strange. The man's body temperature was lower than normal. His heartbeat had an odd rhythm. His lungs made a sound he had never heard before. But most surprising of all was Kalen's blood. When Dr. Lin drew a sample and placed it under the microscope, he froze. The cells were different, stronger somehow, but not natural, not for this time. He looked up. "Kalen, what exactly happened to you?" Kalen leaned forward. "There was a sickness in my time. Many people were affected. Some came back here, looking for help, looking for hope." Dr. Lin sat back, unsure what to say. Kalen opened his metal case. Inside were small items, shiny tools, smooth and light, and a folded paper map. He handed Dr. Lin a small disc. "This has information, medical scans, records, treatments. Please look at it." Dr. Lin turned the disc over in his hand. "Why me?" "Because," Kalen said, "you're known. In our history books, they say you were the first to believe." Dr. Lin blinked. A strange feeling moved through him. This could be a trick, a performance. But then again,
maybe it wasn't. He looked at Kaylin, who now looked weak, struggling to sit up straight. "I don't know if I believe you yet, but I will help you." Kaylin smiled, a tired, grateful smile. "Thank you." That night, after the clinic closed, Dr. Lin stayed late. He placed the disc in an old reader. What he saw was both amazing and frightening. Medical records from years far beyond now, diseases he had never heard of, treatments that used light, sound, and even time itself. His hands trembled slightly. Was it real? He looked again at Kaylin's blood, then back at the screen. The patterns matched. Something strange was happening, and it had only just begun. Key vocabulary: clinic, a small hospital or medical office. Patient, a person who gets medical care. Microscope, a tool to see very small things. Useful sentence pattern: I don't know if I believe you yet, but I will help you. Use this to express doubt, followed by kindness or support.
The next morning, Dr. Lin arrived at the clinic with tired eyes and a heavy mind. He had barely slept. Images from the disc, details from the strange files, and Kaylin's pale face stayed with him through the night. He told himself it was impossible, but deep inside, something was shifting. He had seen many things as a doctor, but never this. At 9:12 a.m., the bell rang again. It wasn't Kaylin. This time, it was a woman. She looked young, but her eyes were tired, as if she had seen too much. Her clothes were plain, simple, and slightly outdated, like someone who hadn't shopped in a store for many years. She held no phone, no ID, and no wallet. "Do you have an appointment?" Dr. Lin asked gently. "No," she said, looking around nervously. "But, someone told me you help people like me." Dr. Lin paused. "People like Kaylin," she whispered. He blinked. "You know him?" She nodded. "He was in my group. He said you were kind." Dr. Lin took a breath. "Come in." Her name was Mira. She didn't say much, but she allowed Dr. Lin to examine her. Her body temperature was low, like Kaylin's. Her heartbeat, slow but steady. Blood sample, again, different. Not normal. Dr. Lin ran the tests twice. The results were the same. Mira stayed silent during most of the exam, only speaking when asked. But when Dr. Lin placed the stethoscope to her chest, she said softly, "We didn't want to come here." "Not at first." "Why did you?" Dr. Lin asked.
The next morning, Dr. Lin arrived at the clinic with tired eyes and a heavy mind. He had barely slept. Images from the disc, details from the strange files, and Kaylin's pale face stayed with him through the night. He told himself it was impossible, but deep inside, something was shifting. He had seen many things as a doctor, but never this. At 9:12 a.m., the bell rang again. It wasn't Kaylin. This time, it was a woman. She looked young, but her eyes were tired, as if she had seen too much. Her clothes were plain, simple, and slightly outdated, like someone who hadn't shopped in a store for many years. She held no phone, no ID, and no wallet. "Do you have an appointment?" asked Dr. Lin gently. "No," she said, looking around nervously. "But someone told me you help people like me." Dr. Lin paused. "People like Kaylin," she whispered. He blinked. "You know him?" She nodded. "He was in my group. He said you were kind." Dr. Lin took a breath. "Come in." Her name was Mira. She didn't say much, but she allowed Dr. Lin to examine her. Her body temperature was low, like Kaylin's. Her heartbeat, slow but steady. Blood sample, again,
Different. Not normal. Dr. Lin ran the test twice. The results were the same. Mira stayed silent during most of the exam, only speaking when asked. But when Dr. Lin placed a stethoscope to her chest, she said softly, "We didn't want to come here. Not at first." "Why did you?" asked Dr. Lin.
She looked at him. "Because our world, it's dying." The room fell silent. That week, 4 more patients came, one by one. None of them looked the same, but all had similar problems: weak immune systems, strange cell patterns, low temperatures. One man had skin so thin it bruised from a light touch. One child had never eaten fresh food. Each of them said they came from the future. They never explained how. Dr. Lin never asked. He was careful. He told no one, not even his assistant. He gave each patient a fake name in the system. He stayed late every night, looking at their scans, comparing samples, reading from the disk Kalen had given him. But it wasn't just the medical side that bothered him. It was the fear in their eyes. These people were not tourists, not explorers. They were refugees, escaping something bigger than war, bigger than sickness. One night, Dr. Lin sat at his desk, staring at a note Mira had left behind. "Thank you," it said. "We never expected kindness." He felt something shift in his chest. These were not actors, not liars. Whatever was happening, it was real, and it was growing. But questions burned in his mind. How did they get here? Why now? And how many more were coming? Late that Friday, as rain fell outside, Dr. Lin opened the back door of the clinic to take out the trash. He turned and found a small group standing in the alley. 5 people, quiet, wet from the rain. He recognized the look in their eyes, the same look Kalen had, the same look Mira had. One of them stepped forward. "Dr. Lin," the man said, "please, we're sick." Dr. Lin looked at them. He didn't ask where they came from. He just opened the door wider. "Come in," he said. That night, the clinic stayed lit long past midnight. Key vocabulary: refugee, a person who escapes danger to find safety. Immune system, the part of the body that fights sickness. Bruise, a dark mark on the skin caused by hitting or pressure. Useful sentence pattern: we didn't want to come here, not at first. Use this to describe something difficult you didn't choose at first.
Dr. Lin no longer needed the clock to tell him when someone had arrived. He could feel it, the soft shift in air, the quiet steps in the hallway, the nervous way a patient paused at the front door. Every day brought more of them. Some looked young, others old. They spoke little. They carried no ID, no phones, and no history that fit the present time. But they all shared the same look: tired eyes, pale skin, and silent hope. Dr. Lin worked alone. He took only one assistant into his trust, a nurse named Ai. She had sharp eyes and a calm heart. One evening, after closing, he showed her Kalen's file. She studied the strange records without speaking. When she finally looked up, her face was serious. "This isn't fake," she said. "I know," said Dr. Lin. "They're not from here, are they?" she asked softly. He didn't answer. I stayed after hours with him. She helped care for the quiet patients who arrived one by one, sometimes after dark. They set up a second exam room, turned off the front lights, and used the back door for new arrivals. Word had spread, quietly, secretly. People were coming not for a cure, but for safety.
Still, Dr. Lin needed answers. The files on the disk gave him clues. One part showed changes in the Earth's air and water, thick pollution, extreme heat, strange illnesses. The human body, it seemed, had changed to survive in those future conditions. But those changes didn't work in today's world. Here, their immune systems were weak. Their lungs didn't match the air. Their skin broke under light pressure. These people, Dr. Lin said one night, pointing at a scan, are not sick because they're broken. They're sick because our world is too clean for them now. I nodded slowly. They can't live in the past. But they had no choice. They were here now. Dr. Lin tried his best. He mixed old medicines with new techniques. He adjusted room temperatures. He built simple tools to help them breathe more easily. Still, he was only one man, and the work was heavy. One afternoon, a boy arrived. His name was Teo. He was 11 years old. He spoke clearly, though slowly, as if every word had weight. Dr. Lin examined him gently. Teo's heart was weak. His lungs were thin. His body had trouble adjusting to food. But his mind was sharp, too sharp for a child. "Do you remember your home?" asked Dr. Lin. "Yes," Teo said. "But it wasn't like this." "What was it like?" Teo paused. "The sky was orange. The wind was hot. We wore breathing masks. I never saw a real tree." Dr. Lin felt a lump in his throat. "Did you come with your family?" He shook his head. "No, my parents didn't make it." Dr. Lin put a hand on the boy's shoulder. "You're safe here." The boy looked up. "For now."
That night, Dr. Lin stood outside the clinic, looking at the stars. For the first time, he noticed how quiet the city felt, how lucky they were to breathe fresh air, to eat real food, to see green trees. But he also knew luck wouldn't last forever. The next morning, a woman came who changed everything. Her name was Lyra. She was different from the others, stronger, more alert. Her clothes were unusual, dark, smooth, almost like armor. She didn't shake or cough. She walked with purpose. "I need to speak to Dr. Lin," she said firmly. Dr. Lin brought her into the back room. She looked him in the eyes and said, "They haven't told you everything. I will." He raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" "There's a reason we're here, and you deserve to know." Key vocabulary: patient, a person receiving medical treatment. Pollution, dirty air, water, or land that harms people or animals. Armor, strong clothing used for protection. Useful sentence pattern: they haven't told you everything. I will. Use this when you want to explain something others have kept secret. Lyra sat across from Dr. Lin in the quiet exam room. She kept her back straight, her hands folded in her lap. She didn't seem sick like the others. Her skin was clear, her heartbeat steady, her breath calm. But her eyes held something deeper, something urgent. "We came here because we had no choice," she said. "But the truth is, not all of us are allowed to speak freely. Many don't even know why they were sent." Dr. Lin listened, his hands still. "There was a disaster, not one event, but many over time. First, the air changed, then the food, then the ground. People got sick, slowly, quietly. The world we knew became impossible to live in." She paused.
But that wasn't the end. What truly destroyed us was time itself. Dr. Lin frowned. What do you mean? In the future, we found a way to move people back in time, just a few. The plan was simple. Send them to the past, where the Earth was still healthy. Let them survive. Let them rebuild. But something went wrong. She looked away for a moment. The process was unstable. Not everyone survived the journey. Some were sent to the wrong times. Others arrived incomplete. Memory loss, organ failure, confusion. Dr. Lin remembered the way Mira spoke, the way Teo looked at the sky. Pieces were starting to fit. We were told, Lyra said, that if anyone could help, it would be you. Why me? He asked again. She pulled a small device from her pocket. It looked like a stone, smooth and gray. With a soft click, it lit up, showing a name, Dr. Zun Lin, 2025. Then came the words, potential anchor. You are what we call an anchor, she explained. Someone stable, someone history trusts. When time shifts, some names don't disappear. Yours is one of them. Dr. Lin was quiet. His thoughts moved fast, but his body stayed still. Lyra stood. We don't ask for much, just safety, a place to heal, a chance to live. And what happens if I refuse? He asked gently. She didn't smile. Then history changes again. That night, Dr. Lin stayed at the clinic. He made a bed in one of the back rooms. He could no longer treat this as a mystery or a case to solve. It was bigger than that now. He began organizing files, patient by patient, condition by condition. He created a new system, marking changes in their bodies, their minds, their behavior. He searched for patterns, anything that could help.
I brought food and supplies. The clinic turned into something more than a place for healing. It became a shelter. But with growth came attention. One evening, 2 men in dark suits came to the clinic. They said they were from the health department. They had questions about late-night patients, about unusual blood samples. Dr. Lin answered calmly. He showed regular files. Nothing strange, nothing illegal. But the men stayed longer than expected. They asked about Kaylin, about Mira, about a boy named Teo. After they left, I locked the doors. They know, she said. Dr. Lin nodded. It's starting. That night, Lyra gave him one last warning. They'll keep coming, not just from the future, but from your time too. People who want to stop this, people who don't understand. What do we do? Lyra looked at the clinic's glowing lights, the quiet rooms, tired patients. We protect what matters until the world is ready to listen. Dr. Lin didn't sleep that night. He sat by the window, watching the rain. He had never wanted to be a hero. He just wanted to help people. But now, the future depended on him. Key vocabulary: disaster, a terrible event that causes harm or damage. Anchor, something or someone that holds things steady. Shelter, a safe place to stay. Useful sentence pattern. We protect what matters until the world is ready to listen. Use this to express quiet strength and purpose in difficult times.
The clinic felt different now. More than just a place for healing, it had become something sacred, a quiet space between two worlds. Outside, the city moved as always,
Buses ran, shops opened, people laughed. But inside, time was folding. Past and future were touching, and Dr. Lin stood in the middle. Each night, new arrivals came, some by taxi, some by foot, some walked for days. Dr. Lin and I received them all, carefully, gently. They documented their conditions, gave them shelter, and learned their stories. Still, not everyone survived. The human body, so carefully built for one world, often broke in another. One morning, I entered Dr. Lin's office, her face pale. "It's Teo," she said. Dr. Lin rushed to the boy's room. Teo lay still, his breathing shallow. His skin was cold, his eyes were open but distant. Dr. Lin tried everything: heat, oxygen, fluids. But Teo's body had started shutting down. The boy turned his head slowly. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "No," said Dr. Lin, taking his hand. "You have nothing to be sorry for." Teo smiled faintly. "Thank you for showing me a tree." He closed his eyes. Dr. Lin sat beside him in silence. He had lost patients before, but this felt different. Teo had not just traveled through space, he had crossed time to find something better, and now that time had run out. The next day, Dr. Lin buried Teo beneath a tree in the courtyard. Mira placed a small stone on the grave. Others gathered, heads low, hands still. Lyra stood beside him. She wasn't the first, but she may be the one they remember. Dr. Lin nodded. If they ever get to remember. Suddenly, sirens wailed in the distance. I ran to the back door. "Authorities! Coming fast!" Lyra stepped forward. "We have to go." "Where?" Dr. Lin asked. "Back or forward? Anywhere we can." The clinic moved quickly. Patients were led to the basement. Files were hidden. The lights were cut. Dr. Lin stayed by the front window, watching the dark cars pull up. Uniforms, flashlights. Then, knocking. "Open the door! Health inspection!" Dr. Lin opened it calmly. "The clinic is closed," he said. The officer stepped in. "We have reports of illegal patients, unauthorized treatments. We want to see the records." "There are no unauthorized patients here," Dr. Lin said softly. "Only people who need help." "You're hiding them," the officer said. "I'm protecting them." Before the officer could respond, Lyra appeared behind Dr. Lin. "You want the truth?" she said. "Come see it." She held up the small device again. A soft light filled the room. Images, real ones, flashed through the air. Burning skies, cities underwater, people wearing masks in orange light. Then Teo's face, smiling beside a green tree. The officers froze. "We are not your enemies. We're your future." The light disappeared. Silence followed. Then one officer stepped back. Another lowered his flashlight. "We were never here," one of them said, turning away. The others followed. The cars left, and silence returned. That night, the clinic felt different again. Not smaller, not weaker, stronger. Because now, the world had seen a piece of what was coming. Lyra turned to Dr. Lin. "You've done more than help. You've begun something." Dr. Lin looked at the sky. The stars were still there, still watching. "Then let's not stop," he said.
Thank you for listening to today's story. Let's take a moment to review what you've learned. This story helped you practice past tense, clear sentence patterns, and emotionally rich vocabulary. You followed a journey filled with kindness, courage, and quiet strength, where the past and future came together in one small clinic. Key sentence pattern. We are not your enemies. We're your future. Use this pattern to calmly express difficult truths or explain something misunderstood. You also practiced, you have nothing to be sorry for. Let's not stop. Only people who need help. These are short, powerful phrases that show empathy and action. Vocabulary box. Here are 12 useful words from the story, with simple definitions. Word, meaning. Clinic, a small medical center where doctors help patients. Refugee, a person who escapes danger to find safety. Pollution, dirty air, water, or land that harms life. Immune system, the body's defense system that fights sickness. Bruise, a dark mark on skin caused by hitting or pressure. Shallow, not deep, weak, used for breathing or water. Courtyard, an open space surrounded by buildings. Shelter, a safe place to stay. Disaster, a terrible event that causes harm or damage. Anchor, something or someone that holds things steady. Authority, a person or group with power or control. Incomplete, not whole or finished. Discussion question. What would you do if someone from the future asked you for help? Why? Take your time. Try answering in English. Even a short answer is a good start. End of story. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this, please like or subscribe. Let's keep learning together.